A simple camping trip turned into a horrifying fight for survival against 100 glowing eyes in the dark, rainy woods. Rain lures them out, my escape from the forest. Suddenly, I was surrounded by these creatures. I had only sliced a couple as they tried to bite me. My heart was pounding, and I was terrified of these things. One wrong move, and they would devour my body. The thought of that almost made me vomit. They croaked to each other, and it sounded like they were planning. It felt like they were going to attack. I knew what I had to do. I looked around and tried to see the path that led me to my camp. Seeing this many creatures messed with my sense of direction. It didn't help at all that the storm made everything dark, actually pitch black. The rain felt like needles on my skin. Then I saw the path back to my campsite. I prepared to make a run for it. There was the smell of rain combined with the stench of mud and something else. The weird smell came from those creatures. The rain kept getting harder and harder. Then I took a pine cone from the ground and threw it as a distraction. It worked, at least for a little while. Right then I had to make the run towards my shelter to get that torch, otherwise I'd be gone. The storm was turning the ground into a thick, sucking mud that I took the first steps and slipped in the mud. Then one of those creatures bit me in the leg. It stung so bad, but I had to get up and keep running. I got up, grabbed that biting creature, and threw it away. Then I began running again. After falling, I was more careful about my steps. I started calling these things toadies. While running, I took the lighter to my hand. Quickly glancing back, there were maybe 50 of those toadies running behind me. I had to light the torch fast. The toadies' croaking grew louder every second. I sparked the lighter, but it didn't ignite. Click, click, click. Finally, after 3 tries, I got the torch lit and in my hand. As soon as I got it lit, the toadies stopped at once. The light showed just how close some of the toadies were. If I tried, I could have grabbed at least 2 of them. There were at least 100 pairs of eyes, glowing from the light that my torch made. Their rubbery skin was glistening in the light. They kept opening their mouths, and I saw these thin but long needle-like teeth. I did not want to get bitten again. Go away. I yelled at them from the top of my lungs. Of course they didn't answer. They just croaked and stood still, frozen from fear. The one who was closest to me kept blinking every time I looked at it. You need to go. I tried to scare them away by waving the torch around, but they didn't move at all. I was desperate and really tired of this. I kept wishing that this would end. It felt like the rain lasted for an eternity, but suddenly it was silent. A wrong, heavy silence. Being so tired made me fall asleep, but I woke up, the torch was still in my firm grip, and the rain had stopped. Frantically, I jumped up from the ground in my shelter. There were so many of those creatures, all dried up and frozen in place. I thought that I had survived this horrible nightmare. Then I heard a croak in the distance, echoing. I walked up to one of the toadies that was dried and laying on the ground. I swear that it blinked at me and twitched a little dot. I picked it up and put it in a jar I had with me. I was very careful because its mouth was open and I did not want to feel the pain again. After placing that thing in there for examination later, I packed my bags and started the hike back to my car. I glanced at the shelter I had built for the one last time and felt pride about it. Then I began the hike. On the hike back, I saw many more of those creatures dried up and frozen in place, but I didn't focus on that. My only task was to get out of there. Seeing the parking lot from a distance made me feel relieved. I had survived this toadeye attack, for now at least. I opened the trunk and threw my backpack and all the gear I had with me. Then I began driving, and just as I was leaving the forest, I heard a croak coming from inside the car. It came from the trunk. At least that toadeye was in a sealed jar, or so I hoped.